Imagine being introduced to a protagonist in the beginning of a movie who is creating a world. And in that world, he creates a particular person, a man, to be a reflection of him, like a son. Then he creates a woman as a partner for him so that they can produce children that are also like him. Now, these characters have an untold amount of children, but he follows the bloodline through only one son each generation until he gets to a special character whom he promises land, innumerable descendants, and kingdoms through a special son he will give him to carry on his name. So the special son comes and the promises are given to his special son. And this special son has 12 sons who are all called by their father's name and inherit the promises as one. These characters and their descendants have now become the supporting characters in the movie, but because they are presented as one, they act as a sort of love interest for the protagonist. Now, although this family is chosen, they have issues. So they plot to kill their brother, but end up selling him into slavery instead. And the main character really does not like this because he is all about love and justice, especially among brothers. So he does to them what they did to their brother, and their descendants end up in slavery as punishment. As time goes by, the descendants cry to the protagonist for help when their punishment gets too bad. And since they are his chosen, he saves them from their oppressors. Now, as he delivers them, many foreign people who were not part of this family decided to go with them. So the protagonist gave a very clear set of instructions that would allow these foreigners who were just extras up until that point to become supporting characters as a part of this family, if they chose to do so. He then gives the family the land he promised their forefathers, along with a set of rules that produce his definition of love and justice, that all of them, including the foreigners, must obey to ensure they are never enslaved again and can remain in their own land forever, because he would defend them from all foreign threats if they kept them. He also has them build him a house so he can live with them as their king and appoints leaders to teach them the rules. He warns that there will be people who will come and try to get them to break the rules, but they should not listen to them because these instructions must be obeyed at all costs. If they are not, they will be disciplined, and foreigners will wage war on them and invade their land. And if they still don't straighten up, he will send them back into slavery, and they agree to his terms. But the family repeatedly rejects the protagonist who gave them the promises and his rule. First, they reject him as king, so he gives them another king named Diablo, who turns out to be a very evil person until the very end. Diablo is the movie's antagonist. He doesn't obey the protagonist's rules. So the protagonist rejects him and appoints a man who is beloved of him as the new king. But Diablo is so evil that he sets out to kill the new beloved king and even kills the people who the protagonist appointed to teach the rules for unwittingly helping him get away. After Diablo is killed in war and the beloved man finally gets the throne, he leads the people in following the rules for the most part. But after he dies, they start to go astray again. In their continued disrespect for the protagonist, the family kills each other and even their own babies. When their brothers who love the protagonist and follow his rules call them out on it, they kill them too. So after repeated discipline and warnings, he leaves the house. Foreigners wage war on them, rob and destroy the house and their land, and carry them back into slavery for a set time as punishment for their evil. After the time is up, he brings them back home and gives them another chance. They rebuild the house and walk upright for a while. Then slowly but surely, they start to move towards the same evil again, and foreigners start to invade their land as a result of it. These foreigners are again extras in the movie, with a few occasionally having a larger role. So this time, as a preventative measure, the protagonist sends his only beloved son to be their new king, because he knows his son will keep them on the right path, make sure they clearly understand his instructions, and know exactly how he wants them kept. This son is the deuteragonist, the secondary protagonist. And when he arrives, many are glad to have a new king. In fact, he makes 12 friends who are presented as one. So what role do you think they play for our deuteragonist? The son teaches the 12 rules and appoints them to lead others in following them. But the evil among the people do not accept the son as their king. Instead, they plot to kill him, just like they did their brother in the beginning. And the son warns them that if they do it, the house will be destroyed again, and they are going back into slavery just like they did before. But they don't listen, and one of the 12 friends is revealed as a traitor who helps them kill the protagonist's son, whom he sent to be their king. Now, after he dies, the traitor is replaced among the 12, and then another character named Diablo comes on the scene. What kind of character do you expect Diablo to be? If you said an antagonist, just like the first Diablo, you'll be right. He kills the people who are following the 12 friends that the new beloved king left in charge, just like the first Diablo. But something happens to Diablo on the way to kill some of them, and he says he has seen the light and has now become a follower of the new king and changes his name to Pablo. He tells people he met the new king, and he told him to go tell people that the foreigners don't have to follow the protagonist's original rules for love and justice anymore. Instead, he has given him a new revelation, and he teaches this new revelation to the foreign extras, many of whom believe what he says. He then goes on to write confusing letters that nobody really seems to completely understand, explaining why the rules no longer apply. Now, thinking objectively, if you were an extra in this movie and had no clue what it was about, would you trust Pablo Diablo? Let me know in the comments. So at the end of this movie, there is a war. Based on the plot of the entire movie, what would you expect the result of that war to be? If you said the foreigners destroying the house, kicking the main character's love interest out of his land into slavery for murdering his beloved son, like both he and his son said that he would, I would agree with you. But oddly enough, in this particular movie, many people think the end is about the main character killing the foreigners who invaded the land for persecuting the extras for their beliefs, rather than foreigners invading the land as promised if the love interest went astray, which we know she did. So this is the only movie where in a ninth inning plot change, somehow the extras become the main characters at the end of the story, which makes no sense. But okay, I'll bite. Where do you think the extras got the idea that they are now the main characters of this story? And if the extras did end up being persecuted for their beliefs, do you think the main character would defend them in those beliefs based on what we know about him and what we know Pablo Diablo taught them? If you are interested in my full updated take on this, stay tuned as I go beyond Babylon to explore the remake of the Bible's ending that the world is currently waiting for.